Well, hey, hi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whichever part of the world you're joining me from. Uh, I've just returned back from International Blockchain Congress 2018 in Hyderabad, and I apologize for my voice. I have almost lost my voice speaking to too many people at the booth. Uh, uh, Bear with me. This will be a pretty quick, short session, around 5 or 10 minutes at max. Uh, so, badge of this week is let's get started. So this week's badge is get started with Kubernetes and IBM Cloud Kubernetes service. It was earlier called IBM Cloud Container Service. Uh, how do you get to this page? Uh, the regular developer works courses page, and go there and search for uh, hmm, this one. Get started with Kubernetes and IBM Cloud Container Service. So, and then click on this link to get started. So it will take you to the page like this. It's a pretty short, nifty course, around 3 hours. There would be a message on the page which says that the course will be removed on 30th of July. I'm recording this on 5th August. It has not been removed. So fingers crossed. If it gets removed, then you have to go to this link to get more information on cognitive class. Uh, the same course is being posted there and a bit more updated. So both are equally good courses. So choose whichever course you want to do. Uh, in this course, you will understand what are the entire journey from if you are using a virtual machine, then how do you set up a virtual machine, and how is the container different from virtual machine, how it utilizes the underlying resources better. The stack is a bit less in height. They're just core binaries and libraries that use a particular application. How in a microservices architecture, each functionality or feature of an app gets used by a pod in a container. So, and then how Kubernetes comes as a container orchestrator, container, how it allocates resources, high availability, scaling, horizontal scaling, security, and those parts. So you get to learn a bit about here in this. There are some good videos. I have completed them. Go through these. There are a couple of labs where you can push an image to IBM Cloud Container Repository. If you haven't explored IBM Cloud till now, I would encourage you to go to console.lumix.net. Um, so yeah, this is the newer version. If you want, you can start with the same course here. The syllabus is here, and it's almost the same version of the course. Uh, so go to console.lumix.net. This is the cloud. This is IBM Cloud, and I was mentioning here about Cloud Container Registry and Kubernetes service. So where would you find these two services to try out on IBM Cloud? You would find those two services after logging in. You have to go to Catalog, and in Catalog, click on Containers. I'll let the page load. Yeah. Click on Containers, and these two should be up soon. Yes. So here we are. This is IBM Cloud Kubernetes service, and this is the container registry. So you can store and distribute Docker container images with this registry. I, those who are joining me a bit late, I apologize for my feeble voice. I've lost my voice speaking to a lot of people at the booth. But I wanted to record this video. I didn't want to miss this week's session. Uh, so Cloud Container Registry and Kubernetes Service both are here under the Containers tab. Uh, as you would find, the difference between these two is that light is not mentioned here. I mean, this is not a light service, so you would need cloud credits to try out the service before if you want to go for a paid. So before going for paid, if you want to try this out, uh, in this course, there's an option to get some cloud credits here. Click on this, and it just will give you some free cloud credits that you can copy and paste here, and then you can try out the paid service here as well. So this is the way for us to go ahead here in Cloud Container Service. I'm so sorry. Sorry. So you set up an application, you deploy and push an image. If you have a CLI, it's the best. Kubectl is something that you would need to install. You would also need to install IBM Cloud CLI. You can use either IBM Cloud or BX. Both commands work. So they would help you in pushing an image to cloud. So you can simply write BX push, or if you're using Cloud Foundry, then CF push, and it will push the image to cloud. There's a second lab which tell you how to create a replica set and then perform some health checks. The third lab will help you in setting up Watson services via the CLI. There is app, there's a ready-made app that you can push and deploy, kind of a Hello World app. Let's see if I can show this to you here. So there is ready-made image made for you. Do log in into container registry. Its command is bxcr login and go to lab 3 Watson. You have to download this entire stuff in the first lab, and then you have to just simple docker push, and that's it. It will be in hello world image, and so that's it. That's the third lab. So what are takeaways from these from this course or this week's batch? Number one takeaway for you is learn how a container works. What are pods? What is a master proxy? What are some worker nodes? How a master node interacts with a worker node? How does kubectl CLI work? How you can write a deployment.yaml file, or how you can create a scalability portion. That is the crux of this course. This is a beginner level course, so you do not require much knowledge here. Get yourself comfortable with using kubectl CLI or BX CLI. These two are absolutely required. So the moment you are able to do these two, and then we would go much deeper into another advanced container management course or something. So thank you so much. So this week's course is Kubernetes and IBM Cloud Container Service, or IBM Kubernetes Service. You'll get it on catalog here. The course is here. This course is kind of old, but it still serves a purpose. So either this or this, both of these work. I'll put the links in the show notes. And you'd find this here regularly on the badges page. If you see on this badge page, there are all the badges that we have covered. We started in week 1 with blockchain essentials, and then last week we covered blockchain foundation developer course this week as well. So these are all in progression on the same page, so that you are able to follow these courses: blockchain essentials, Bluemix essentials. Then we did Node-RED, basics to bots. It was covered by Mahitab. Last week we covered blockchain foundation developer. And finally, this week we are covering getting started with Kubernetes and Cloud Container Service. So thank you so much for joining in, and keep coding. Thank you.